So I'd like to welcome both Jessie Mary and Pete Briley. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today, and the band Hengistbury. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Brilliant.
Thanks for having us.
That's all right. My pleasure. Apparently, you guys are avid fans of the podcast as well as musicians alike.
Yeah, I've been listening. I'm a big fan.
Just feel like that's the man himself.
Yeah. I was. Maybe that's why we had a bit of trouble with the video, and maybe it was me turning it off because I was starstruck.
Yeah.
He does. He gets like that.
I must admit, it is a bit weird when you listen to somebody on a pod. Because every day I walk the dog at lunchtime and I listen to podcasts, and yours is one that has found its way into the rotation quite heavily. And it's weird talking to somebody who you usually only listen to. It's an odd sensation.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, now you're speaking on the pod, which is great.
I know, I'm buzzing.
To yourself, Pete.
I know. Next time I'll be listening to me.
Yeah, exactly. So this will be going out next Tuesday. So hopefully you can tune in with your dog walking.
Yeah.
Be like, who's that on there?
Me and Ives will be listening.
Yeah. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the name Hengistbury for your group. How did the name come up, and how did you find out that Hengistbury was right for you guys?
Oh God,
hard work.
we had endless names going back and forth, and we had a few good ones that we kind of agreed on, but then a lot of names were taken, even if we thought they were quite unusual. And then we both settled on this one because it's a beautiful local beach near us.
Okay.
That's pretty famous, and it's just stunning. And I don't know, it just kind of had the right feel for what we write about, and for I think it just works for us, doesn't it? I don't know.
I think it's spot on, yeah. I mean, we had a few tearful phone calls about band names as well.
Yeah, we had a few fights about it. No, we didn't.
No, there were no fights.
Do you want to reel off a couple that didn't quite make it?
I don't know if we've got the list anywhere
Can you
now.
remember?
Oh, there was so,
it's funny
so
because
many.
now we're Hengistbury. I don't think I've got any more
Can't
in my head.
even remember.
I think we liked kind of beach related things. So there was one in my head, Sea Glass, which I liked.
Yeah.
But there was a band called Sea Glass already, and gutted.
Things like that. We would. I don't know, because it's so hard with a band name, isn't it? You're trying to think of something that some band names are the hardest thing in the world.
Definitely.
Because you're trying to think of something that sums you up, but also that it doesn't sound really crap and cheesy, and something that fits with who you are but isn't pretentious, and it's very, very difficult.
It
I
is.
mean, I can't imagine what it's like to name a person. The dog was hard
Yeah,
enough.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I completely understand on that point. Just in the end, I was in a blues rock and roll function band, and we had a really good friend of ours who we were called the Smokestacks at first, and
I played a band in Leeds called the Smokestack.
yeah. So there's actually a very quite famous Sussex band, which is where I'm from, called Smokestack. And we actually had a couple come along expecting Smokestack.
Oh my God.
No.
You're not the band, are you? Yeah, we are. So you're not Smokestack, though. No, we're the Smokestacks. And after that, we realised that we should have.
That one letter.
Yeah.
Do people not realise that two stacks of smoke are better than one?
Yes, no, that is true. Yeah, but
They're all
at the
better.
same time, their faces were not impressed. But they stayed and actually went. So long as you change your name, yeah, we're quite big fans. So it's like, okay, cool.
And did you?
Yes, we did. We changed it to the Delta Sons in the end.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, it took a long time. We had a good friend of mine who's heavily into Native American, and he he was trying to think of like black rock and creeks, and he just listed like eagles and things like that. Just anything Native American he could think of because he knew that was about right. And then it was just like the Delta, and then he was just like, well, there's four of us, and I was on sort of the Mumford and Sons train back then in 2012, and so I thought the Delta Sons, and everyone went, yeah, that just sounds alright. So ever since then, unfortunately the band is no more because we all moved, but yeah, it was that. So names can be really difficult. I think we spent about 6 months trying to get that name as well.
Yeah, we spent a good month or so, didn't we? Yeah,
intense month.
Yeah,
We'd even start to record it, like, recording the album. We'd even started. It's like, how are we going to release something with no name? That's where the tears came in.
That's something we'll get onto later. Then I just heard recording the album, so we'll get onto that later on. And so, do you want to let me know how the band came to fruition? Then, how did you two meet, and how did you start creating music together?
I was in a country band already, a country covers band. Pete joined as our new guitarist.
Yeah.
And we just we gelled pretty quickly, and we sort of both realised we were doing a bit of writing and decided it'd be a good avenue to do it together.
Yeah. Great.
Why not?
Exactly.
Got complementary instruments. We don't play the same ones, and
No.
Yeah.
So who plays what in the band then?
So I'll just start with mine, and then Pete can reel off his 60, because I play fiddle and piano, and I dabble in guitar, but I sing mainly. And then Pete, off you go. Get ready.
No, I just stick to the guitar.
No, he doesn't.
Guitar and then the banjo and the lap steel with the 3 kind of main ones I play.
Okay, yeah.
But if it's got frets, then I can usually navigate just about. And so for the album, we've essentially done it all ourselves. So all the bass and the synths and everything really, everything with frets, and everything else we've just kind of put in ourselves. One of the 2 of us has done it, so it's been quite exciting from that point of view.
Yeah. So Pete, of all of the instruments that you've played, what's the most difficult one, would you say?
They all have their challenges, I would say. Banjo is harder than it looks because it's an open tuning, which is nice, but then you've got this top string that only goes halfway up the neck, and it's tuned to a G. So if you're playing in an A or a sub chord that doesn't fit with a G, and you accidentally hit this open G string, it can really mess you up a little bit.
Yeah, no,
it's weird.
I can understand what you mean from that. I think it's got to take a bit of a skill, though, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I've mastered it yet, but it's definitely getting there.
Oh, I'm sure you're getting there, Pete. Don't worry about that. So, when you guys started the band, obviously the sound on your single has its own sort of unique vibes. Was this sound you were originally wanting to create, or was it something a little different that you were working with in the beginning?
I think, to be honest with you, because the song's been kicking around for a little while, I wrote it a long time ago because I was with another band, and we were doing some work out in Nashville.
Yep.
And we kind of coincided it to finish off this album. It was just mastered in Nashville because we wanted to go to Nashville, and that's what you do,
Who doesn't want to go to Nashville?
Well, exactly. I was into the Black Keys a lot of the time, and it was like, well, it's good enough for Dan Auerbach, it's good enough for me. So we sort of flew out, and my friend, my best mate, he had a really shitty time in his life. It was just lots of things were going wrong. A relationship ended, and work was tough, and it was just difficult.
Yeah.
And he decided he was just going to take out 3 months, travel around America and Germany, write a novel, which is a great novel, and
like you do.
Yeah, And we met in Nashville, and it kind of stemmed from this idea of that you could go to every new place he went to. He didn't have the baggage that was waiting for him at home. And that's where it came from. But then I think it kind of ties into why Jess and I work well together, because it wasn't really hanging together well. And then Jess kind of made a few changes and helped me out with it. And the stuff we do together is it's greater than the sum of its parts sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the sound is quite different to the other songs on our album. It's not similar to any of the others, I'd say, particularly. No. So it's true. Quite a unique. Yeah, it's quite unique to you, isn't it? I think.
In what sense is this one unique then to the sort of sounds that you're saying is the norm for the album upcoming?
This one is mainly, we switched to banjo, didn't we?
Yeah, that was your kind of input really, and it was whether when I first had it was more of a guitar tune, and then Jess sort of suggested putting the banjo in as like the lead instrument, if you like, and that made a real difference.
Yeah, I think it's probably quite a bit more folky than some of the other ones on the album as well. So I'd say country folky kind of vibe. But
and then you introduced me to Brad Paisley as well, and I stole some of his like style of lick to put it on the electric as well. So it's just kind of lifted the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
So that one does. I suppose that one is a bit more banjo-esque, but I mean, on the album there's a bit of everything, isn't there? Really, and that's it's all kind of hangs together in the storytelling and the lyrics, and the themes that we address kind of hang together and sound like us. And there's vocals are like a huge part of what we do. I mean, with Jess's voice is, why wouldn't you? Wow, you know, she's got a great voice, mate. But yeah, I think that one, it's a bit more banjo-y, but then there are ones that are just piano and voice, and there's ones that are lap steel led, and ones that are guitar led, and it's just kind of...
Okay, so there's an eclectic mix, shall we say?
Yeah. Definitely. Pete on stage is basically jumping between instruments, whereas I'm basically sticking to my mic and my fiddle, and I get the easy job.
I don't know about that.
So have you guys been out on the road much with this music then?
We're just kind of starting to get out a bit more now. Now we've sort of nearly got the album finished. So we've got a few gigs coming up.
Yeah. Quite a few, actually.
Yeah, well, quite a few, yeah.
We're quite busy, aren't we?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Which is good. We're actually playing... we've got our kind of real road chest. We did a couple of little open mics, and we've done a couple of... we did a gig a little while ago that was sort of daytimey, lunchtimey sort of thing, and tomorrow night is kind of our first real chance to show off the album tracks.
Yeah. We're headlining a country night tomorrow night, so that should be exciting. Yeah.
Down in Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
It would have happened by the time everyone hears this. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Surreal.
It will be by the time everyone's listened to this, and hopefully everyone will be looking on social media and having a look to see how well you guys did.
Yeah, hopefully well.
So will we see Pete going between all the instruments then? Is he going to be
we will.
You?
Yeah, he's bringing everything. I haven't got a keyboard that I can transport yet, so that is on my list, because I basically have the easy job of having my fiddle just there and the mic, so I just let Pete kind of jump between the lap steel and the banjo and the guitar, and so he's having to do that.
And it's just the two of you as well?
Yeah, just the two of us at the moment. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So see, the one other thing I was going to mention is going back to what you were saying about Nashville, and the recording is your vocals, obviously the harmonies. How easy was it to create that harmonic sound? Was it fairly simple, and did it click quite easily, or did it take a little bit of time to really get that sort of perfection?
Jess is one of those annoying people that's just amazing at everything that she does with her voice, and she can just. I mean, I think we're helped in the sense we have strong melodies and that kind of stuff. But Jess she can just sit down and sing, and then sing a harmony like it's easy.
I thought that was normal.
Oh, shut up! We're gonna have our first fight on an interview now.
It'll be my first one, so.
I'll play 15 instruments, so everyone's got their own things, haven't they?
You've got to fit together, and that's how it works. But I mean, Jess can just hear lovely harmonies and just sing them. I have to learn them and work them out, and then eventually I get them. But Jess just can just do it, and she's got this lovely ear for hearing what a song could have, and paying attention to that. So that's where it can really that's really Jess's kind of little bit of magic sparkle that she throws on all of the tracks, and it just lifts everything.
Thanks.
Well done.
We're currently being harmonised by the dog in here as well. Because she's like doing a collar. I don't know if you can hear that.
No, I can hear her personally. So we'll move on to your latest single then. What Folks Don't Know. Noticeably, there's a lot of layers in this, and also a lot of little licks too. What was the sort of inspiration behind doing this?
I think it's the music side of it. You want it to, because it's about a journey, and it's about a road trip, and it's about moving to new places all the time. You kind of want it to have that transient feel, and the instruments come in and come out, and there's different lines and different licks, and that sort of wanted to give you the idea of that you're travelling, and you're moving from different to place, and every place has its own flavour. And so it's really kind of trying to mirror the words in a way. That's where the kind of the layered effect comes from, is that if you like, the metaphor is that the banjo is the protagonist, my mate, and the everything else is the towns that he travels through. Finishing off with a little bit where it breaks right back down again and talks about coming home, and that there's still a home there for him if he wants it. And it's so it's kind of, I think we write songs in a kind of there's a million one ways to write a song, but I think the way we try and do it is that we try and marry the music and the lyrics together. You know, I'd never ever send Jess just an instrumental track fully done and ask for lyrics, and vice versa. She wouldn't send me instrumental track and say we need lyrics on this. It'd always be like, I've got this gem of an idea, these are the words, this is the kind of melody I'm thinking, and you grow it from there. And it's because you often hear a lot of bands do that. Either they'll write a whole song and then try and put lyrics on it, or they'll write lyrics and put a whole song on it, and there's always a bit of a disconnect, I think.
I think it's different processes, isn't it?
But yeah, you're right. I
think I find it really difficult to write a song. I have lyrics definitely come to me, but generally, I think it's really difficult if you start by only having one or the other. I don't know. Just there's always a line, and it tends to be to a tune for me, and I think that's probably how you do it as well, isn't it? But
and usually via WhatsApp is how we WhatsApp sung into the phone.
I've discovered the beauty of that microphone on WhatsApp, which is like the best thing ever, and I just annoy Pete by sending him like little voice notes all day long, and just it's great.
Yeah. That's normally the best way to get a song written.
It's good, isn't it? How did people do it before modern technology? I mean, hats off.
I guess they just use those recorders, like the little Zoom mics, or just either phones or dictaphones or something.
Like on Home Alone.
Had to have like staves and write all the notes down, which I still do sometimes, but in the middle of the night I do.
I'm just trying to think back to how people recorded things in like the 90s. I guess you just record through tapes and.
I used to press play and record on my tape machine. Do you remember that? And then I remember I used to record the top 40. I used to run upstairs and like press it when I knew like the songs I wanted were coming, and then that's how you recorded back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I would 4-track little tape that my dad gave me, and I used to record little ideas on it and then put bass line on it, and then
that's cute.
Nice. It was very cool.
So before we get on to the rest of the interview, folks, we're going to hear a quick message from our sponsors. So let me tell you about the most innovative approach to new music that exists today. Revival Recordings, an artist-first record label based at North Carolina, and has introduced Revival 52, a commitment to fans to release new music every Friday for 52 weeks of 2018. From metal to pop punk to indie rock, Revival 52 will be bringing something new for you to enjoy every Friday. And right now, Revival are actually giving away a free Amazon Echo to one lucky fan once they hit 1,000 followers on their Revival 52 Spotify playlist. Just go to ffm.to/Revival52 and follow their playlist to enter there. So do go enjoy great music from your favourite record label for free right now. That's Revival 52 on Spotify, and that's ffm.to/Revival52. So for this single, who have been your inspirations behind this?
Oh, I'll let Pete take that one, seeing as it's mainly this one.
Well, I think it's interesting, really. I think I love a lot of artists, and I think straight away you're talking the story side, telling things goes back to Bruce Springsteen, but also things like Ryan Adams, Iron and Wine.
Very good choice.
I'm into like more old country, and actually, to be fair, I'm into a lot of different things. I love. Like on the album, there's a bit more, even like a bit like Young Fathers and things that go well outside the country. We get some of the synths involved and get some of the the dirty synths and the drum machines and all that kind of stuff, because it's. I mean, I think for us, we're trying to create something really, and that's trying to. If it sounds like something we've already heard, we don't really want to do it. Is the idea, and I think there's so many things out there. We want, and for us, I think trying to just express ourselves beyond just the sound of an acoustic guitar is really important.
Yeah.
So those kind of artists, but then we're also into things like well, you love like Casey Musgraves.
No,
and...
don't tell everyone.
She's great. I love Casey.
I know, but it's just like so everybody loves Casey Musgraves.
That's true. So. That's true. The Wandering Hearts, though, another like, British band, are great. And recently, like O&O, Two Ways Home, two like British up and coming boy girl duos like us.
Yeah.
And they're great. I think O&O might. I think both of them are both British. I think in Two Ways Home, the girl might be Hungarian, I think I heard in an interview, and then in O&O I think the guy might be from the US somewhere. So I'm not sure, but yeah, they're both brilliant.
I just wrote them down just so I can have a look afterwards. So they might even feature my podcast thanks to you guys.
Oh yeah, they should. They've it's funny, you kind of like, especially with like Two Ways Home, O&O, you just kind of see the name pop up, but Two Ways Home, they were on a podcast that we were on. Another podcast about country music, and they won it a few weeks later, and so we've kind of like crossed paths, we zigzagged around each other, never actually met them, but they just sound like a pair of legends, and their music's brilliant, you know.
That's great though. It's good to see so many artists integrating love for each other, and especially when people go on tour, and a lot of bands pick the support bands, and I feel like recently there's been a nice flurry of artists picking their favourite artists and trying to get them on for the road. Whereas when I was younger, it used to be the main artist tried to either pick someone not well known at all, or try to be of a different genre, or not less quality, but just try to not try and upstage the main artist, whereas I find now it's pretty much like a mini festival.
Yeah, I think that's it's part of. Sorry, I was just going to say it's like social media, isn't it? It's the beauty of it, because you discover all sorts of artists that might not have got their music out there, or I think there's lots of pros and cons, but I think that's a pro of definitely of social media for me, because you can I mean we follow all sorts of people on Instagram, don't you? They're ridiculously talented, and not massive, but managing to get their music out onto a platform that's they can share with like-minded people, and it's just I think it's a really nice way to go now. I think it's the benefit of these platforms.
And I think that sound is so good these days, like the equipment that people use is so good that having a support band that doesn't kill it is almost makes your night look a bit more rubbish. You want to have you want to have everyone to go, oh my god, the sound was amazing, and I was even more amazing, and I was even more amazing. Rather than they're a bit pants because they've obviously had a crappy sound tech or they've been deliberately made to sound bad so the front the main band sounds better. Some of those days.
It's definitely been a lot more of a level playing field recently. I mean, obviously you've got the headline acts, and they are the headline act because you bought tickets for them. But at the same time, the support acts has been a lot of a sort of similar quality, and for the fans as well. I think when I saw Idols supporting Foo Fighters last September, it was a very different kind of rock. The Idols were sort of British punk rock, sort of very grounded punk rock, but they fit the audience so well, or they grasped more of the audience than they expected, and it just turned into a killer show because it was just right from the off. They were insane, and Foo Fighters were insane. So I think it's just a much more of a level playing field now, especially with the quality of sound music these days. Yeah,
that just reminded me of something. I went to a gig like years and years ago in Paris, and it was Muse. And I remember I was with a load of people, and obviously they had a support act, and no one knew who it was. And they were like, oh, let's not bother, it's probably going to be crap and whatever. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I just want to see who it is. Anyway, it turned out to be Razorlight. And I was like, I can't believe that, it was back in the day, so they weren't massive, but, that's just how your mentality at that time, you're kind of like, oh, they're probably not going to be that great. And actually they were incredible. And, but yeah, it's kind of evolved, hasn't it?
Definitely. So go see support acts, people. no matter what gig you're at.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially bands with a bit of character, like Idols as well, always like, you know, bands you like Idols that have you seen on Twitter? Like every so often they do like little Twitter haikus, and they just write haikus and they're always really funny. They're hilarious.
Yeah,
they're so good.
I love them so much. They're such a good
So
band.
good.
They're such a good band. They're sort of getting recognition from Radio 6 and Radio 6 Music and.
Oh, well, that's how I got into it, to be honest. Yeah.
All the main sort of mainstream publications and radio as well. So it's exciting times for them. Exciting times for punk rock as well.
Yeah.
As mental as they are on stage. I watched the live shows. Jesus Christ, they were terrible. It was just so mental. I just don't know how they managed to go for it that much.
I love that.
We might not be seeing it so much from you guys though.
No,
Well,
I was
I
going to say, I'm
don't know
not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure we fit that category.
We go that far.
Yeah.
Things get pretty hot.
We've had a few. No, not really.
Yeah, we do have a few drinks.
Maybe
Yeah.
after a few drinks I might see something.
Yeah, exactly. Mate, going a bit
that's
mad.
true.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned earlier on about an album. Do you want to quickly touch on that before we finish the interview?
Yeah, definitely. It's coming.
It's on its
coming.
way.
It's
Is there a
nearly-
release date yet, or is it just still in the pipelines for now?
we've got a rough plan of around October, November, back half October, November kind of time. We're literally like what?
We're nearly done.
We're like
aren't
2
we?
violin
He
parts from
basically
done.
made me do about 60,000 violin parts on one song, and I've only done about 50,000 of them, so it's taken me a while. So that's kind of we've got a
That's it
couple,
then.
and then that's it. I
That's
think.
it then,
Yeah.
and then it's down to mastering, and I'm buzzing
Oh,
for
so
it.
excited.
We need to start talking about what we're going to call it. Like, I think we've both been doing the same thing we did when we had a band name. We just write them down, little notes, and then we'll share them.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, and then I think we're going to try and do a little. We were just saying a minute ago, we're just trying to do a little tour and
Yeah.
promote the album properly and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
hopefully get it all out and get it going. But it's the album is. I'm really proud of it already.
Yeah,
it's not finished
so am
yet.
I. And
but
I can't. I don't say that about many things. And actually, I am. Yeah, I really enjoy listening to it already. So I'm like, I can't wait to hear it properly.
I mean, it might be a bit biased, but I think it's,
I think it might be a little bit. But actually, I've written other stuff in the past, and I haven't felt like that about that.
Aw,
So
that's good.
Well,
yeah.
how long have you guys been working on it then, sort of recording wise, not songwriting or anything, like just purely recording wise?
We started writing together probably around November, October last year, and I think we started recording. We hadn't finished enough tracks for the album when we started recording. We probably recorded the first track February, January, yeah.
Maybe like 7 months ago.
Yeah, it was early in the year, so we've been working on it
And
for half
that's
a year.
juggling jobs and life and everything else, and then like fitting in like a rehearsal every so often, and then the studio time, and just
gigs
when
and-
we've got an hour here and there. It's So doing as we can.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely buzzing for it.
Yeah.
I can't underline how proud I am of it. Really, it's because it's together. That's what makes it so exciting.
Make me teary.
Really?
No.
No, not really.
Not really.
So we'll definitely have the new music on the pod as well. It's going to be great to see the progression for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, because I think we sent you there's one track that's very recently finished, and literally the only person other than you who's heard it so far is my wife. So
Wow.
And she has to say she likes it. So
yeah, the dog
I thought it was great
as
personally.
well.
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the album.
Oh, bless you.
But we can't play it just yet, so we'll have to deal with what folks don't know.
Yeah,
Yes.
we will.
Until
Do you know what though?
later
I'm like,
in the year.
yeah, come on, I want to get them out there now. But yeah, still love this track though, so that's good.
Yeah, so we'll play what folks don't know at the end, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds just to summarise what you guys have been up to, what's coming out for you, and we will close the show from there. The floor is yours.
Go, Pete.
So what we've been
On
up
the
to is
spot.
we've been recording, working very hard on our new album. We've got gigs coming out. We're going to Andover in August. We're going to be on Express FM in August in Portsmouth. So we're doing a bit around. We've got some more gigs coming up.
Start touring potentially October, November.
Time to kind of start with the album.
Yeah. So.
Don't know what we're going to name the album yet, but we're starting to think about it, so it's exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be finished soon. So next few weeks, watch the space.
Yeah.
So Hengistbury, aka JC Mary and Pete Briley, thank you very much for joining me, and we will play What Folks Don't Know to close the show.
Thank you so much.
Nice one.
In the midst of your heart, California's calling you. A happy place where you can shake the past and then forget what it's like to be you. Well, folks don't know, can't hurt them now. And it's clear in your eyes, New York City's just alive. The melting pot of stories, where no one's genuine. Who would want to live there? Well, folks don't know, can't hurt them now. And you got me wondering why you ever came home. In the southern states, the sunlight hits the water hard, bouncing off the surface, shining like a national guitar. Paul Simon wasn't wrong. Well, folks don't know, can't hurt them now. And you got me wondering why you ever came home. Don't forget what you got. Some things change, but some things stay the same. And I'll tell you, there's a friendly fire burning on the coast that could light your way back home. Light your way back home. Well, folks don't know, can't hurt them now.
I'm quite the coffee connoisseur, so I
Good lad.
do
So is
enjoy,
Pete.
uh,
So you two are going to
coffee.
get on like house on fire. That's cool.
If it's not got caffeine in it, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Even beer.
Oh, no, I do like a beer, to be
Yeah,
fair.
no, he'll definitely have a beer.
But you know
I've
the night's
genuinely
going to get
had-
messy.
I've genuinely had coffee beer once as well.
Oh my god.
Really? Have you ever had like an espresso martini?
Yep. It's
Like the
great.
best. It gets you up. It gets
Oh,
you fucked.
yeah.
It's the best drink ever.
Yeah. Gets you up, it gets you fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's your album title, Pete.
Up and fucked.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Imagine the marketing for that. There's just people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it quite suits me.
We should have
Mostly
included this
really.
banter in the interview.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, technically we're still recording because
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
because my maybe I'll put this bit at the end, like after the I'll put this bit afterwards.
It's like bloopers, you know.
Relaxed chat.
Yeah, that sounds more like it.